Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 7 of the Make It Rain podcast. You know who he is from the hockey news. You know who I am. You don't know Kingston. You don't know the Dark Knight. They're here with us today. Let's do this. Here we go. This episode is brought to you by Kingston and the Dark Knight. We haven't really shown that very much in the videos so much this year, so may as well get it in the video now while we say. Right?
Joe, everyone watching the podcast. Yeah, we brought those so that we can have those on display in podcast. And then when we started recording for the first time, it was like, yeah, those don't really work. We can't really see those in front of us. But Joe, I'm doing good. You didn't ask, but I just wanted to say I'm doing good. A lot better than last week. And Rain didn't play too well, man. I mean, on Wednesday, you thought that they were turning a corner, and then Friday and Sunday just kind of crapped the bed. Yeah,
okay. Wow, that was bold. I did not expect that at you. I mean, let's just say this. We're going to get into the games, actually. No, I'm going to save my word. Let's get some LA Kings stuff going on. Samuel Hellenius to the LA Kings, anybody?
Yeah, that was a move that actually didn't shock me too much. Hellenius has played a lot better as of late. And when Turcotte went down, you were wondering, maybe Hellenius, maybe someone like a Glenn Godden, or, even like Stunica, even like Chromiak. But they caught up Hellenius, and good for him, man. He's earned it. He's been in the system for a little bit. And, someone like Hellenius who works hard and he has gotten better over the years, nobody deserves him more.
Absolutely. I mean, hats off to Samuel Hellenius. Probably the most deserving guy on the Reign roster right now, getting that call up. He's looked so good. We've obviously brought it up over the past couple of weeks. He's looked the best. Basically replacing the injured Alex Turcotte. God, it just hurts to say that more and more. Like, just getting bit by the injury bug over and over again. Like,
it's so unfortunate for him, man. You gotta feel bad.
Yeah, can we get a healthy season out of Alex Turcotte? I'm begging for it. And it ain't his fault either.
It doesn't even have to be like a full 80 games, just give us like a 70. Yeah, 70 to 75 range, and it just seems like he cannot get to that point.
Yeah, it's a shame. That's besides the point. Good for Samuel Hellenius. It's just, it stinks watching LA Kings prospects go down like that, especially those that we have covered and we have watched as well. So, with that being said, now that we've gotten all the King stuff out of the way, welcome to the Ontario Reign podcast. As this episode is brought to you by Gowdy Law. We all know having a game plan is key, but when it comes to your family's future, are you? Yes, you ready?
You.
No, you.
You.
Gowdy Law is here to help, specializing in estate planning. Gowdy Law ensures your loved ones are protected from losing a ton of money in time to probate when you pass. Just like on the ice, preparation matters. Don't wait until the last minute to make the right play. Visit GowdyLaw.com today to start planning for the future. Get estate plan pricing and a free consultation right on their website. It is that simple. The price is right on their website. Where is it, Collazo?
Right on their website.
You dang got it. It is literally that simple. Gowdy Law, making estate planning easy, understandable, and affordable. The link is in the description. The Reign had 3 games this week. We are covering it right here, right now, on the first rendition of the Reign Rapid Recap, brought to you by Anthony Collazo.
Game 1 of the Reign Rapid Recap featured the Abbotsford Canucks, who came down to visit their daddy's Ontario Reign for the first time since getting swept in the Pacific Division semifinals. Things got going real quick as Samuel Fagemo would give the puck a chest bump that resulted in a goal. It is 1-0 Reign. Shortly after, Anaheim Angels legend Taylor Ward would make it 2-0 off the back of a slick feed from Martin Chromiak. Wait a minute. Danila Klimovic, same thing, would cut the lead in half. Nope. 26 seconds later, a very Glenn Godley pass would set up Hudon for the score. It is now 3-1. Jeff scores a lot of goals. He makes it 4-1. Hudon gonna score again. 5-1 range. It's getting ugly.
You get a goal.
The Canucks stay resilient though, scoring 2 to end the second frame.
You two get a goal.
In the third, Tyler Madden continues to stay in the game, making it 6-3.
You get a goal.
Archie Baines would give the Canucks a little bit of hope, but Jack Stunica and Samuel Fagemo would quickly kill all of that hope. 8-4. Your Reign win.
Samuel Fagemo, Taylor Ward, Charles Hudon, Jeff Malott, Charles Hudon again, Tyler Madden, Jack Sunika, Samuel Fagemo again. You all get a goal! The Ontario Reign have scored 8 goals in back-to-back games. I don't even know if they've done that before in franchise history.
It's got to be rare for any team in
Oh,
the NHL or AHL. I don't think it does not happen often. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the high-scoring game just in general? Do you want to start with Nikita Tolopilo just not looking good?
Tolopilo!
Let's start with him. Let's start with him because
Oh, boy.
Tolopilo, I almost felt bad for him because some goalies, you come out, you have a bad game, it is what it is. So he gives up, I think it was the first 4 goals.
4 goals on 6 shots. Gets yanked for, is it Yuri Patera?
Yuri Patera, yeah.
Yeah, gets yanked for him. Patera goes down on the ice during the power play. Looked like some groin injury, some stretching injury. And then next thing you know, 5 minutes left in the first period, Tolopilo is back on the ice.
5 minutes left in the first period, and I think it was like 5 minutes after Tolopilo got pulled, and he's right back in there. I mean, talk about hockey coming at you fast.
That's not even just hockey. That's life coming at you fast.
That's just life. You know, there was some fans in section 105
Who?
that were heckling him. I kind of felt bad, man. I mean, he
which
was
fans?
having a tough night.
Which fans?
You and your boys.
Oh, yeah.
You and your boys.
Oh, yeah. You boys know who's watching. Let's go.
Yeah, it was rough. Tolopilo just didn't have anything for the Reign. Wrist shots going by, big rebounds that were just leaving the Reign just perfectly right there in their breadbasket, scoring the goal.
Yeah, losing track of the puck as well.
Yeah, he didn't look good, and I felt bad for him because when you get pulled, it is what it is. You know, that happens in hockey. That happens when you're a goalie. Happens to the best of goalies, right? And then Patera goes down like 5 minutes into his stint. Which, by the way, Patera came in, and on that power play the Reign were on, made some impressive saves that led up to him going down on the ice with a groin injury.
We don't even know if it's a groin injury. That's just what our
That's
assumption
just what
is.
we're assuming because he was like stretching out all over the place, making some terrific saves.
He did make a couple ridiculous stops. I mean, that's cool. Chase Wouters or something like that, and Taylor Ward going at it in the second period as well. We forgot that in the rapid recap.
You know, Ward and I think it's Wouters going at it. That kind of woke up the Canucks a little bit because after that, the Reign kind of stopped scoring for a little bit, and then that's when the Canucks. I think it was after it was 5-1. It was 5-2 and then 5-3 going into the third, and then you're like, okay, we got a game here. They got to come out and score. And the Reign did just that. Tyler Madden comes out, scores a goal, and then Archie Baines, which was his first AHL game this season. He was with the Vancouver squad the entire season. Yep. It was his first game against the Reign. He scores a goal. But then Stunica and Fagemo both score. Fagemo had the empty netter. A great game for the Reign.
Yeah, a little slick empty netter from Fagemo doing it all with one hand.
Oh, yeah.
One hand on the stick, little backhand flip it in there. Made it look really, really nice. Let's just say it that way. I mean, are the Ontario Reign coming around? Can we maybe bring up that thought?
I thought after Wednesday that it was either they're coming around or they've gotten lucky facing bad goaltending.
Yeah.
Henderson, I mean, just to put it blunt, doesn't have good goaltending on that team at all.
They don't have very much that's good regardless. So
yeah, and then you come to Abbotsford, or Abbotsford comes to us, and then you play Abbotsford, and it's like, okay, they scored 8 goals again. I had a stat in one of my articles. How many goals was that? It was 21 goals in the last 4 games after their off day. So they were scoring goals, but it was one of those things where was it bad goaltending or were they coming around?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I mean, do the Ontario Reign just look that way? Like, it just depends, man.
Yeah. I agree. I couldn't tell you if it was bad goaltending or not. Tolopilo definitely didn't look good. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, the Abbotsford Canucks were also really good going into that game. I think they were 3rd in the division at the time going into that game. I mean, they've been playing really solid all year. They just ran into a bump in the road, and a really big bump in the road at that, taking on that rain train, baby.
And after the game, Sturm came out and was like, it was a good game, but we made a lot of mistakes. And it wasn't like the Henderson game where he was happy, like, we played a clean game, and we scored 8 goals. Like, that's a plus.
Absolutely.
This game was very messy from the get-go. The first goal came off an actual chest bump. Like, the puck was in the air, and Fagemo just hit his chest and went in.
I mean, like, puck luck exists. Like, let's just get that straight. Right place, right time. Like, it's like going to be a common theme for us saying that in a way.
Portillo looked okay in this game.
Yeah.
Passable. Passable. I didn't think he looked great. I think he's very lucky the Reign scored 8 goals in that game because no one's talking about him in that game, but I thought he looked okay. He let some wristers go by that I think he would like to have back.
Yeah, you would certainly think that.
Yeah.
The one from Jonathan LeCarry-Mackey, first-round draft pick from the Seattle Kraken organization.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of a shot that has absolutely no business going in, and it ends up squeaking by Portillo. I mean, once you get to the end of the year and your save percentage and your stats are piling up and you're competing for whatever the trophy is for best goalie in the AHL, like, you want to be able to limit those goals as much as you can. Like,
yeah.
Like, good goals happen. Like, defensive breakdowns, they happen. That's hockey. But when you got wrist shot off of a zone entry that just squeaks right by you, like, it's not a good look. And towards the end of the year, those start to pile up, too. Eric Portillo looked great last year, rocking a .918 save percentage. Right now, what is his save percentage?
I'm not entirely too sure.
Okay.
But I know that I think I was hoping for him to step up a little bit this year, and so far I think he's looked worse this year compared to last year. I don't think he's looked bad. I just think it might be also because like his playoffs last year was insane.
Yeah.
Like he was terrific in the playoffs.
The first 2 rounds of Eric Portillo looked really good, and then
I would even argue like the 3rd round he looked good as well. Now
Yeah.
did he look as good? No. But he was also facing a better team. Like the Firebirds are a different team from the Canucks and the Condors. They just are.
Yep. With that being said, should we get into Friday's game?
Yeah, let's do it. Not much else to say about that game.
Yeah. Second version of the Reign Rapid recap as the Reign look to ride the wave and they'll look to quench the Firebirds on Friday night in the opening frame. An Angus Booth high stick and the Taylor Ward delay of game sets the Birds up with an early power play. And Edouard Saleh scores a gimme, an absolute gimme on the one-timer, giving Coachella a 1-0 lead. But back come the Reign with a miscue by Nike Coco as Glenn Gaudin cashes in on a botched pass from the Tendy, give the assist to Jeff Ballot, and the score's 1-1. Taylor Ward hits a nuke, he wrist one past the Firebirds net. Underneath the glove, I believe, of Coco to give the Reign a 2-1 lead. Vil Otavainen wrist one from between the circles to knot things up at 2, but in the third, the good brother Jacob Doty scores his 2nd of the year, the 4th line making it happen. The Reign get a 3-2 lead. Can the Reign hold on to that lead? No, they can't. Hani Newman scores on a missed poke check by Portillo with a wraparound goal. Then Jagger Firkis, 2nd-round draft pick a couple years ago from the Kraken, puts the Jagger dagger into the Reign's hearts, and the Firebirds take it by the final of 4-3. A bit of an upsetting loss. It's more so of a gut punch loss, and you kind of brought it up a little bit when we were talking before this podcast started. The vibes, in a way, were at an all-time low Friday night. Correct, sir.
That's kind of how it felt underneath the tunnel after the game. It was Hockey Fight Cancer night. They were wearing some nice white and lavender uniforms.
Absolute beauties.
And so after the game, they were going upstairs to give the jerseys to, I'm assuming, All-In members, because the All-In members get everything in this world. And, man, they were pissed off. And one guy who really stuck out in my mind was Charles Udon. Udon looked like he was taking the loss hard, really hard. Like, he was not happy at all. Yeah, man, just an absolute gut punch of a loss. And I asked Ward after the game, I asked him, there has been a newfound rivalry between the Reign and the Firebirds, and if a loss like that night, on Friday night, if it hurts a little bit more, close game, down to the wire, empty net, you almost score on the empty net, Chromiak fanned on a shot center ice, and kind of similar to what happened Sunday afternoon. I think it was Malat who did the same thing, but that's for next game, on the empty net. And he was like, I don't know if it makes a difference, but like it is a rivalry. We don't like those guys. They don't like us. So the loss hurts. And even though he said that he doesn't know if it makes a difference, I think from me judging their body language off of that loss, because I see them a lot after the games of losses because the weight room is across the hall from the locker room where I'm standing. And it seemed like the body language was they were a lot more disappointed losing this game compared to other games that they have lost in the past.
I mean, that game was sort of a gut punch, as I said earlier, in a way. So the Ontario Reign were outshot in that game 22-16. In a game like the Ontario Reign the Ontario Reign put 50 shots on goal against the Henderson Silver Knights. They then put another 30 or 35 on the Abbotsford Canucks. They come out in this game and get outshot 22-16, and they're held to 6 shots in the first, 5 in the second, and 5 in the third. 5 in the third, including the bits when they were down, and when that's the grind part of hockey. That is the dog days of hockey. That is the absolute pinnacle time of hockey. Like the Ontario Reign, it's kind of been this way this year. In some of these games that are like really competitive and really fast paced, they come out a little bit slow in the first, then they pick it up, then they got all the speed going into the second, and then they just eventually run out of gas.
Yeah, that has definitely been the thing this year. I think last year was a little bit different. I think they came out slow, and then they would always make a comeback at the end, make it close.
Of course.
But this year, you're right. They would come out, they look good, they all have motors. As the game progresses, it seemed like they're running out of stamina, running out of energy. Maybe even losing focus a little bit, which Sturm has mentioned a little bit in his post-game interviews.
Which makes the most sense just because of the fact that this team's younger. And
100%.
This team's now playing with guys that are on the verge of the National Hockey League. And a team like Coachella Valley doesn't even matter who their coach is at this point. Like, we've seen this last Sunday. We saw it today, Sunday, because we're recording on Sunday. Sunday night specifically. After the Reign, we'll get to Sunday's game actually, so excuse me. But Derek Laxdal was the head coach for a team in the OHL. I believe it was the Ottawa 67s, if I'm not mistaken, or it was the Oshawa Generals. One or the other. Regardless, both of those teams are really good in the Ontario Hockey League. Man, it's translating. I don't know if it's his philosophy, but his philosophy is really good. And the Coachella Valley Firebirds look really good against the Ontario Reign. But it also could be just some of the players that they have returning from last year. Like, Max McCormick didn't play either of the 2 games this week.
Oh, man.
And that's something to name. But Ryan Winterton, Hani Newman, Ian McKinnon, Cale Fleury.
Fleury has looked good the past 2 games against the Reign.
Physical presence, too.
Yeah.
He's making the Reign look uncomfortable. Let's just say that. So, they're rocking pretty close to the same core group of guys. And the Ontario Reign are not. Just plain and simple. I put out a tweet on this on Friday night. The Reign's breakout, I called it dysfunctional. I'd say sloppy is probably a better word. Yeah, okay, you're completing 1 or 2 passes, but they're missing that third pass and they're bouncing the puck instead of keeping it flat and just going tape to tape to tape to entering the zone. Friday night, the Coachella Valley Firebirds, their breakout, their forecheck, and their back check, it looked like I was watching an NHL team, kid you not.
It's like I said earlier, the Abbotsford Canucks, the Condors, because they played them last year in the playoffs, the Henderson Silver Knights, who they just played, they're not the Firebirds. The Firebirds, the Seattle Kraken organization as a whole, seems like they have something going for them, where it seems like their scouting and their ability to find coaches and stuff is just better than everyone else's. And their speed on the ice, the way they set up their forecheck, the way they set up their back check, they give the Reign trouble.
Yeah.
And in all 3 zones of the ice, they play a lot better than the Reign. In Friday's game and Sunday's game, which we will get to in a little bit. The first period, you saw it very early on. You're like, okay, this team is different.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Abbotsford. It's not Henderson.
Yeah.
And they scored early. And then you come back, and the second period, they came out and scored early. Ward, and you're like, okay, the Reign can do this.
They got pep in their step. They got pep in their step.
And it's not a Reign Firebird game if it's not back and forth. You know that going into this game, it's going to be back and forth. It's going to be close. It's not going to be a blowout either way. Doesn't happen in Reign Firebird games. It's almost similar to Yankee Red Sox games where it's it's going to go 3.5 hours, 4 hours. You just know. If you sit down for a Yankee Red Sox game or even a Dodger Giant game, you're going to be on the couch for a while watching the game. That's just how it is, right?
The Dodgers Giants? I thought you were going to say Dodgers Padres.
That's like a recent like.
Okay,
once the Padres were like bad again, no one's gonna care.
I was gonna say, because comparing the Dodgers and Giants is like comparing to the Rain and the Gulls. Comparing the Dodgers and the Padres is comparing the Rain and the Firebirds. It's a newfound rivalry. Both teams are good. Both teams are competitive, and it's gonna be high motor, high pace, and and put that in all caps, a very physical game. Like, the physicality of that game almost looked like a playoff game.
Oh, yeah. And you can tell both teams want it bad.
Absolutely.
Because that's how much they don't like each other. The Rain got out in front twice in this game.
Yep.
They went up 2-1. They went up 3-2. And the Firebirds responded back both times. And then, obviously, in the end, they got that goal with, like, less than 3 minutes left.
Yep.
And it was a gut punch, because that's a game knowing that you're going to face them again on Sunday. You're going to get their main goalie, Alice Teska.
Yep.
And you're facing Coco in that game, and you have to beat them. Especially when you have Portillo in that. You have to beat them. And they don't.
Kind of unfortunate, in a way.
Portillo's game-tying goal, or the game-tying goal that Portillo gave up, was bad. That was bad. You can't let that happen.
Yeah, whiffed on a poke check. Hani Newman saw that, just kind of...
Because he got caught in between on that play, and if you watch the replay of that highlight, he had nowhere to go. He either had to go around or pass it back along the half wall. And Portillo was like caught in between of poking, and if you're going to do one, you got to commit. Because he could have gone to poke. He could have. Mm-hmm. And he got caught in between, and he was stuck in no man's lane. And it was an easy wraparound. I
mean, it almost kind of like paid dividends to the Glenn Gaudin goal in the first period, because what goes around comes around. Man.
That was bad too. So it's like potato. You get,
Absolutely. Like, Nikkei Coco just botched it. Like, let's just put it that way. The Rain closed down on that back check, had two skaters, one to the left, one to the right. I believe it was Hudon on the right and Malott on the left. He passes literally train wreck right into Malott, and then there's Glenn Gaudin camping 10 feet in front of a wide open net.
I think that one's a little bit different though, because I think Malott made a really good play.
Yeah.
Right. Portillo just had like a breakdown in that.
Kind of a brain fart in a way.
Yeah. It was weird because Portillo doesn't make those kind of mistakes.
It's a very unusual mistake that Eric Portillo made. Unfortunate, like, the Rain lost, However, the score of this game could have been way worse. Like, the Rain lost 4-3 this game.
The Fibers played better than them.
Oh, way better.
Yeah.
I'll make the argument the Rain either could have been shut out or lost 4-1 that game.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I
agree.
If
Eric Portillo like closes one down, then I think if the Rain play their best game, it's a 3-1 win.
Yeah.
3-1, maybe 3-2. Like, if the Rain play their best, they're 100% going to win that game. The Rain did not play their best that night. Let's just say that.
Not at all. Want to go into Sunday afternoon?
Let's get into it. Here we go.
Let's do it. Well. Here we are again. Rain, Firebird rivalry matchup from Friday night rematch, as the Rain look to counterpunch with a win of their own and split the weekend set versus the Firebirds. Oh no. 2 bids and 40 seconds into the first period, Tucker Robertson makes it 1-0 Coachella Valley. Wait, why is everything chrome? Future! Martin Chromiak scores not 1, but 2 goals in the first period. It is 2-1 Rain. Ville Adavainen auto-scored the game-tying goal just like he did Friday night. And even though it is still fall, Ryan Winterton followed up with the goal of his own. It is 3-2 Firebirds. The third period was close, and with the help of Alice Teska robbing the Rain on a couple occasions in the third period, Leighton rode the Rain train out of Coachella Valley, and the Rain lose 4-2 the final.
The Rain played a lot better Sunday than they did Friday. Let's just get out the way. So, going back to the shot totals, if you remember what I said earlier, the Rain were outshot 22-16. They outshot Coachella Valley this game 39-27.
Yeah.
Alice Teska flopping, doing a handstand, brick wall. Like, I don't know what you want to say for a good goaltender, but he did that. 37 for 39 in save percentage, which is a save percentage of, let me see here. It doesn't say, actually. My bad. So, regardless, unbelievable performance out of Alex Steska, and that's the reason they won that game. If Coco was in the net, the Reign are way ahead. Like, they probably win that game 5-2, 6-2, 6-3. Like, they're going to pull away big time.
This is the second time Steska has faced the Reign. The first time was, again, in Coachella Valley, and they won 4-1. And that game, he played really good, too. So Steska is a force to be reckoned with in this division. Now that we've seen him twice. And again, just a start. You cannot get off to a poor start the way they did. Right. So the first game, they get down 5-3. 2 bad penalties. They score. This game, defensive breakdown, and Tucker Robinson 1-0. And you're like, we're in for a long night. Then Chromiak comes along, scores 2 goals. And you're like, okay. Again, just like Friday night. It's like, okay, 2-1 game. You know, and this is the game you got to win. You cannot go down 0-3 in the season set versus the Firebirds. And the Firebirds, the rest of the game really, the second period especially, looked a lot like the first half of the first period.
Yeah. Where
they dominated all 3 zones, forward check, back check, neutral zone. They're setting up their forward check, their back check perfectly well for the Reign.
Yeah.
And then the third period looked a little more even.
Mm-hmm.
And the Reign played a lot better.
Yeah.
And on the power play, Steska robbed the Reign a couple times, like bad. And at that point, there's nothing the Reign can do. So I think my takeaway from this game was that they played better than they did Friday night. I thought the Reign deserved to win this game more.
Yeah. This loss moves the Ontario Reign to 4-6 on the season. I believe this puts them out of the playoff picture in the Pacific Division. I'm saying the playoff picture because it's November, not March or April or something.
Yeah.
But, man, the Ontario Reign, their record does not show how this team's been playing. Like, this team, the first 5 games went 1-4, looked completely dysfunctional. There was no identity, no chemistry in the team. Then they go score 8 goals in back-to-back games, pull themselves within striking distance now. And then, I mean, can we just say that Coachella Valley, as of right now, owns the Ontario Reign?
Yeah.
They've won 6 straight against the Reign. They swept them in the Pacific Final last year, and they've won 3 straight to open this year.
I think at this point in time, I think it's a one-sided rivalry, and I wouldn't say that if it wasn't for last year's Pacific Division Finals.
Yeah.
The Reign, similar to Sunday afternoon's game, I thought in games 1 and 3 last year, the Reign played better than the Firebirds, quite frankly. But the Firebirds go on these little 10-minute runs where they just can't be stopped. Yep. And especially when they're the home team, the crowd gets into it.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's a complete onslaught.
Yeah.
It's an avalanche.
And that's what happened in games 1 and 3 where they just got hot for 10 minutes. And then the other 50 minutes, the Reign played better, but nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
This season, the Firebirds are simply playing better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate because it's a rivalry that I think a lot of us were excited to see. And now it's kind of turning into we're on the wrong side of this one-sided rivalry where it's turning into almost like a 90s, early 2000s Yankee Red Sox rivalry where the Red Sox can't beat the Yankees at all in any playoff series. And whenever you think they're going to win, like in 2003 when they were up 4-0 in the 8th inning and Pedro Martinez is still on the mound, then the Yankees score 4 and then Aaron Boone hits a walk-off home run. And it's like, when are we going to beat the Yankees?
Yeah. They then proceed to do it the next year after the Yankees.
In the most satisfying way possible if you're a Red Sox fan.
What did Kevin Millar say? Don't let us win tonight.
Don't let us win tonight.
Not a baseball podcast, as I probably said 800 billion times for the first 6 episodes. So, Vil Ottavinen, I want to get to his goal in the second period. Was he beneath the left circle when he shot it?
Dude, it was sharp. I don't know if he was beneath it, but it was a sharp angle, and if you're a Copley, you want that back so bad. Because that cannot... It was a snipe. It was a perfectly placed shot. But even then, you can't let that go by.
Yeah. And then I want to get to the third period because the Reign had a power play. Brouillard, delay game, 2 minutes. Reign's power play. Oh, my goodness! Not only was Steska staying on his head, the goalposts were staying on their head. The The Rain hit the left post and the crossbar in that power play. Like, highway robbery by Steska. Even bigger highway robbery by the goalposts.
Very unfortunate.
It stinks.
Very unfortunate.
And the other thing is, and I'm going to state this again, this happened Friday with the Firebirds too. Once again, what goes around comes around. So, I mean, gosh, the Rain were that close to tying the game up and then potentially going to overtime, which we haven't even seen the Rain in overtime yet this year. And the Rain have so many skill players to put out there on a 3-on-3. It's not funny.
I think when it comes to the Rain, I think there's nightmares with the Firebirds. I think after getting swept, they go to their house, and even playing them at home, they were eliminated at home last season to the Firebirds. So it's like you see that jersey and you're like, there's something mental.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And people who say otherwise, it's not true. Like, if you play the sport, like, I remember from, like, my experience, whenever we would hit the road at Ontario Christian, at Arrowhead, there was something about Arrowhead Christian where it's like, we're just not going to win. Yeah. Like, it's just not happening, right? And even though that, you go into the game and you're trying your hardest to win, and we had close games, it was just, there were ghosts there. Where, like, I think do a no-hitter in that game and we lost. So it's like you see the Firebirds jersey and you're just like, man, like, we gotta beat them, and you just can't.
And then you ultimately end up coming up short, which is just so unfortunate.
They're 0 for their last 6, man. They're 0 for their last 6 against them, dating back to the Pacific Division Finals Game 1. Can't happen.
Yeah, just it stunk. Like, no Rain fan in their right mind has respect for the Firebirds. I swear. There's no Rain fan that has respect for them.
I think there's jealousy there. Like, really.
You're not wrong in the halfway. Like, I don't like the Firebirds just now because the fans are a bunch of pieces of work, in a way.
Yeah, Firebird fans, I don't know. Like, they're passionate, but...
They think they run Southern California. I can't wait until that team goes down the drain. That stadium is going to be empty the moment it happens. And you better thank the good Lord the Seattle Kraken are doing something right now, because that's the only reason why there are butts and seats at Acrisure Arena. Okay, now that I got myself out on the Firebirds fans, let's get into the rain weather report presented
by Rain.
Very heavy rain and some thunder, and if we had visual effects, probably lightning as well. So, I got the 100% this week. Kind of a no-brainer for me. Give me Martin Chromiak. So,
ooh, I like that.
Martin Chromiak had 2 goals Sunday. Had an assist on Friday. Involved in the scoring on Wednesday. He looked really good. The Slovakian native just looked very good, to say the least, this past 3 games. Need I say more? Probably not. But I mean, the plus minus realistically, because I'm looking at it right now, the plus minus really doesn't show for him, because he was -2 today and Friday. However, his goals that he scored, chef's kiss.
It's a really important year for Chromiak, because I think in our last short, I kind of explained him as a hint, like kind of forgotten, but it's kind of true, and that's not a diss at Chromiak. I talked to Kings fans, right, and they say that, what happened to like Chromiak, because he was one of our most hyped up prospects, and he was supposed to be something great. And, like, now you have guys like Turcotte who kind of, like, overtook his spotlight. You have, like, Brian Clark. Chromiak, it's an important year. He's got to come out. He's got to show up, or else he's going to be a lifetime AHLer. And 2 goals, 2 assists this season so far. And not only that, he has looked really good on the ice just in general. His forecheck, his back check, he's everywhere on the ice. He has a motor this year. He looks energetic. And overall, especially in this week, with his 2 goals, in the game on Sunday afternoon, and his assist to Taylor Ward Friday night, he's making things happen, and he's creating havoc on the ice. And when he's out on the ice, you don't want to see him, because when he has the puck on his stick, he's making things happen.
His assist, by the way, came Wednesday against Abbotsford. So
the Ward goal?
Yes.
Wednesday. Yes,
Wednesday.
You're right.
Slick feed, by the way, might I just say.
Yeah.
Like, tape to tape. Did he use the boards at all?
No, I don't
No, I was
think
going to say, no, it was just a stretch pass that got
He's
to Ward.
fast.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, Martin Chromiak could have very easily had a Hattie this game had the crossbar been this much higher.
Yeah. He almost had 3.
Yeah, he rung the crossbar a couple times. So, unfortunate in a way, but yeah, that's my 100%. Who do you got? 50.
My 50%, I think I'm going to give this guy a little bit of flowers. I'm going to go Samuel Fagemo.
Mm-hmm.
New Instagram follower.
Hey!
On the pod. Give it up,
Thank you very much.
Give it up,
Appreciate
snap
it,
it up,
Sammy.
snap it up, snap it up, snap it up. Fagemo has looked good as of late.
Absolutely.
He struggled out of the gate. Really struggled out of the gate. And that's not sugarcoating anything. 4 goals, 3 assists, I think in his last 4 games.
4 and 4. 4 and 4, 8 points.
4 and 4? Okay,
Yeah, and assists today.
so this isn't updated then.
Yeah.
Then maybe the Chromiak one isn't updated either.
No. Chromiak has 6 points. I think it's 4 goals and 2 assists.
Okay, so Chromiak has 4 goals, 2 assists. This isn't updated. My stats suck. Anyway.
Oh, well.
4 goals, 4 assists for Fagemo. 8 points in 10 games.
Yep.
And when he gets going, this team looks different.
Absolutely.
And we've seen that, right? When Fagemo wasn't going, when he was like fanning on pucks, when he was playing overall really bad everywhere on the ice, the team was dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm.
And now that he's going, the team looks way better.
Yeah, the rest of the team kind of just feeds off of his performance. Like,
Yeah.
if Fagemo looks good, the rest of the team looks good. Like, here's an example for you. Like, Henderson and Abbotsford, he had 2 goals in their 8-goal win efforts.
Yeah.
He had nothing Friday and 1 shot on goal. That is rare out of Samuel Fagemo. And then Sunday, he had an assist, a point, and 4 shots on goal. So, honestly, like, at the beginning of the year, I brought up Francesco Pinelli being the X Factor. I also brought that up when Samuel Fagemo was on the waiver wire and we didn't expect him to be back. Now that he's here, dude, Samuel Fagemo is the X Factor of the Ontario Reign at this point in time.
100%. And Fagemo, I had a thought in mind. I think I just completely lost it.
Well, that stinks.
You got anything to say? Well, I'll try to, recoup and try to get that thought back in my head.
I mean, I want to also bring up a little bit of Sunday's game. I'm kind of going off on tangent while this guy tries to get his mind back together because this is going to trail perfectly into my 0%. The Ontario Reign in the neutral zone. So during the playoffs last year, they suffocated the neutral zone. They looked really good in the neutral zone. They stretched all 3 parts of the ice, and they played really good in all 3 bits. This year, I don't know what it is. Like, this specifically applies on the penalty kill when they run their 1-3 neutral zone. Then their middle guy just, like, plays so passive. Just drops. Like, whoever it might be. And in the main occasion, sometimes it's Luke Rowe. And Luke Rowe is my 0%, and I'm just telling you that now. So, like, and it's not just him. It's, like, there's other defensemen in there. Like, you gotta, yes, you gotta drop. You don't want to get beat. But you also gotta, like, not make it comfortable. Because if you let a team flow into the offensive zone, here you go. Here you go. Set up. Just, like, set up. Work the boards. Work it across. The hardest part of a penalty kill is defending it in your zone. The neutral zone is the one bit where you have a chance to shut it down. And the Ontario Reign, almost in a way, just kind of failed to do that in a sort of way.
Yeah, I think it's their new 2-2-1, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really exactly too sure. But you want to give credit to the Firebirds, right? Because the Firebirds are fast, and they set up really well in their zone and stuff like that on the power play. But at the same time, Joe's right. When you're watching the game, it seems like the Firebirds are getting into the zone way too easily.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? And then Joe pointed out, like, yo, look at the 1. And he's dropping back, and there's no pressure, and they're making it way too comfortable. And especially, you might be able to get away with it with some of the lesser teams.
Yes.
But with the Firebirds, you have to make it uncomfortable. You have to play their game. Because if you don't play their game, they're going to beat you at their game and yours.
Absolutely.
So you can't play passive on them, man. It can't happen. And you would think that after Friday night's game, and it might be a system thing, right? Could be. Maybe Sturm can't do anything about it, right?
Maybe it's more of a Rob Blake thing or something at the front office with the scouting department or whatnot. But honestly, I don't even care what it is. Marco Sturm, just do something about it. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, it's easier said than done. Like, if he contradicts, we don't know if he loses his job or whatnot. But, like, honestly, if you got free reign of this team, pull the trigger. Do it.
Free reign.
But,
Dang, I wish I still had that sound.
yeah,
on
you
my
don't have it
soundboard.
anymore. That stinks. So, the Ontario Reign play passive, letting them into the zone. They let them into the zone. And that's the one thing that you could compare with the Firebirds and the Ontario Reign's offensive area. When the Firebirds get in the zone, they're not dumping the puck in that often.
Yeah.
The Ontario Reign kids you more than half the time, where skates to center ice, clapped into the zone. Stezka's out to play it, and then the F1 is back there, and the F2 is trailing.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, help side on that. It's like in basketball. Like, it's like calling an ISO on yourselves. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
You're right. You're right. There's no pressure. The forward check looked weak today and Friday. And again, you got to give the Firebirds credit. But at the same time, you got to play them at their game. Because if you play your game, they're going to beat you at it.
Yep.
It's just how it is. They're more talented. The quicker, the faster. They're stronger. They're better.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a better team. And the fact that there was no adjustments made was kind of interesting to me. But we'll see. You know, they play them. When's the next time that they play them? Is it the Teddy Bear Toss?
I believe it is Teddy Bear Toss night. Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully they don't get shut out.
Don't stop. If that's the case, the Tabers are going to get tossed during the second intermission, probably.
You think?
Please don't. Just no. I don't need that.
That's so boring, dude.
That's bad. Or it's going to get tossed during like a timeout or something. Like, no, don't do that. And let me go back to my 0% now. Get Luke Rowe. Yeah.
Ghost.
Luke Rowe. What?
He's a ghost.
I mean, ghost or figure skater? Which one do you want to use? It's one or the other. Like, oh, man. I'm trying not to, like, really harp on him. He didn't look that bad Friday. He did have an assist Friday. He had a +2. He was actually a +1 on Sunday. However, like, dude, there were some of the times where he just gave it away. Like,
Yeah.
not very much I'm going to say about it. Just, it's what it is. If that's even, like, worth saying at this point.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Riley Walsh didn't look bad, but like Walsh, like you gotta handle the puck, bro.
Oh.
Like he's gotten. It hasn't been as prevalent as it has in the past.
Yeah.
But it's like there's still times in games where the puck is going back to him and he's like
Panicking.
just whiffing. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. Professional hockey.
Yeah. in halfway, like, coming from the two journalists here. What are we to know about hockey? We've never played in our life. We just watched it the whole time.
We played baseball.
Yeah. Oh, don't even get me started there. But no, like, with that being said, like, I also wouldn't be afraid to call out Riley Walsh on 0%, but not very much worth it. However, I'm going to give a couple of guys credit because I feel like I bashed on the Reign a little too much here. Joe Hickett, Samuel Fagemo, Tyler Madden, Taylor Ward. These are all guys we usually don't expect to lay the body and get physical. We expect that out of guys like Element, Doty, Hellenius, now in the Kings. Yeah, I got it. So, they're laying the body. And Joe Hickett is standing people up at this point, too. Atu Yamsen is also doing the same thing as well. Like, dude.
The Reign overall don't look that bad. They didn't look terrible this week. So it's kind of hard to balance the episode with, like, they didn't win. They went 1-2 and got swept by the Firebirds, which doesn't feel good.
Ever.
And then at the same time, they didn't play terrible.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Like Luke Rowe being a 0% almost feels unfair.
Yeah.
But it's like, who else are you going to give it to? You know?
It's kind of hard at that point. It's a really hard choice.
All the forwards played good, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like, yeah, most of the forwards, because we're looking at the lineups from Friday, and it was kind of applied to Sunday, except for somebody there, Ward. Ward didn't play Sunday, so the Reign went with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen, which is not common.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Whatsoever.
That was weird.
So, yeah, that's what it is. I mean, we're done ranting, so.
Next week, back at home, Wednesday, November the 13th, Tucson, Roadrunners.
are in town.
Utah. Kevin Connaughton.
Is back. Yeah. Oh, wait. It gets better. Friday and Saturday, they go to Loveland, and they play TJ Tynan. Yeah.
Is he back in the
I believe
AHL?
so, yeah. I believe he is back down in Loveland now.
We have some different matchups, which is better because I think the past few weeks it's been Henderson, Coachella, San Jose. Wait.
And then there's one of Bakersfield hiding in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. And then there's one. So, like, every game has been like, it was San Jose, Bakersfield, Henderson. And then
Abbotsford, Coachella.
What is going on, man?
Yeah.
Let's get some new matchups, bro. Let's get the Tucson, Colorado.
Get Tucson, get Colorado in there,
I
and
know
get
San Diego's coming.
Wait. Da-da-da-da.
Goals suck.
Da-da-da-da.
Goals suck.
Da-da-da-da. They're 2-8. Da-da-da-da.
Goals suck.
Woo! Let's go. And with that being said, the Ontario Reign take on Colorado twice in Loveland on Friday and Saturday. Both puck drops are at 6:05. Thank you very much for watching episode 7 of the Make It Rain podcast. He's Anthony Collazo from the Hockey News. I'm Joe O'Regan. Have a good week. We will see you next Monday at 1 p.m.
Thank you for Game-O.
Appreciate it.